A folio is a book within a book that is guest edited typically. So we approach a guest editor to come in and solicit poetry on a particular topic, and then we work with them to judge, edit, and sometimes translate that poetry on a theme. This year was unusual because it was in-house. We didn't invite a guest editor. Actually, Sam Bailey and Emma Delisle were the editors. It was inspired by Emily Dickinson's Master Letters, if you've heard of them. They are letters to a figure called Master, and there's some controversy in the poetry world, quite heated controversy sometimes, about who the recipient of these letters might have been and what their status is. Are they devotional exercises? Were they meant as letters to someone in particular, someone real or someone fictional? Our interest was, what's the status of this kind of writing, like a poet writing letters? And we started thinking about peripheral writing. So poets who are writing maybe lists or diary entries or marginalia, personal writing that was never meant to have an audience, that was never meant for publication, that was never meant as an artwork. And we thought it's certainly the case that these types of writing become creative exercises, and then that they start to inform, either directly or indirectly, a poet's published works. So we invited poets to think about this, to think about what writing they might have done that then informed their poetry. And it was a really fascinating exercise, I think, for not only for us, but for the poets to sort of reflect on the other sorts of work they do, the other sorts of writing they do, and how that peripheral writing becomes a source of creative energy and gives them material. So that's the book within the book this year. Thinking about a famous poet's peripheral or marginal writing makes us think about our own writing. You know, the lists, the shopping lists you write, maybe the diary entries or the marginalia you write in books as potential works of art. And I think that's something I'm trying to do with the journal more and more, is just to break out of the idea of the perfect poem. I mean, they're there, but also to expand that and to think, actually, there's this sort of messy peripheral writing that goes into that perfect poem, and we want to represent that, those engagements. And one reason to represent that is because it invites people into the poetry world or the literary world, because we're all engaged with this kind of writing.